begin, welcome everyone for our final class before Christmas. Excited to have you here. And this class is going to do a lot of work in the shoulder, arms, chest. We did some limb work last week with the feet and legs. So today we're going to focus a little bit more on the upper body, the hands, the arms, the chest, and of course, like all yin practices, bring in other areas of the body as well. So come to seated, cross-legged, or your legs can be extended long as well. Just arrive. Okay, so let's just come to our comfortable seat and feel our body, our spine in space. And notice if you tend to hold weight in one area of the body, maybe leaning a little left or right. And notice if you lean forward. It's definitely my tendency to kind of lean forward over my pelvis. So see if you can line your spine such that your head is over your heart over your pelvis. And then direct your ears over your shoulders. Just feel your breath for a few minutes. Not minutes, a few seconds. And in today's class, focusing on the heart space, opening through the arms and the shoulders, but with an intention of opening the heart as we move into the holidays. Nice. And now if your eyes are closed, you can open them and bring your fingertips to your shoulders, your elbows wide. So this is, hello Sharon, we need bolster today. Hi, and blocks and a blanket, hello. Coming to a seated, we're just getting started with a little bit of dynamic breath work. So this is a twisting motion that also opens up through the chest. And your fingertips are on your shoulders. Your elbows are high, much like you have a broomstick across your shoulder blades. So rather than the elbows dipping down, keep them up. And what we do is we twist to the left and inhale. And then as you come to the right, you exhale. Okay? It doesn't have to be fast. The motion is important. The inhale is left, exhale is right. So you guys will be turning in the opposite direction as I do with the breath, because that's how it's going to look on the camera, okay? So let's take an inhale and exhale just to begin. Inhale, exhale. Now twist, inhale, left, exhale, right. And you breathe through the nose. Continue at your pace. Inhale left, exhale right. Inhale left, exhale right. You can take it slower or faster. As you're moving, really ground that pelvis down. So you want the upper body twisting, but everything in the lower half is very stable and fixed. So you're not twisting the hips, you're just moving from the rib cage and the shoulders. And the head just kind of comes along with the motions, going along for the ride here. Inhale, exhale. Keep up with your pace. You'll really feel this in the deep abdominals. You want to engage those core muscles, squeeze them in. You can even lift up through the pelvic floor, feeling that engagement and twist. Another few breaths here. And now inhale, center, and hold that inhale and squeeze up through the pelvic floor. Hold the breath in and exhale. And now let your palms face up, hands on your knees, backs of your hands on your knees, palms facing up. Close your eyes And notice that energetic effect from that movement. Most likely you're feeling warmth through the spine, warmth in the base of the spine, that twisting motion, and also sometimes you feel that lift of energy up through the heart space now. Having your arms up at shoulder height, it's like it draws the energy up into the heart space. So see if you can notice that sort of energetic lift. Nice. And now we're going to come to kneeling and a low kneel, and let's roll our blanket. So find your blanket, bring it into a roll, and it can be a high or low roll, and you're going to place that right underneath your hamstrings, between your hamstrings and your calves, so that we have a little compression for the lower limbs. It also is softer on the knees. So place the blanket wherever you want. It can be on the lower calves. It can be a little higher, closer to the knees. Just kind of find a space that feels appropriate for you today. And having that blanket definitely takes some pressure off the knees, but I love it for the compression in the thighs as well. The compression in the hamstrings, and the calves. Bring some blood flow into the area. And once we're situated here, I'm still fidgeting, so take a moment to fidget as you need. Bring your arms out long at shoulder height. And then sweep the left arm under the right, coming into eagle arms here. That first movement definitely brought up my body temperature. So sweeping the left arm under the right for eagle arms. We have some compression in the lower body. And now our first yin posture here is this eagle arm. And we're going to stay static for a period of time. And then we'll invite a little bit of movement at the end. So notice here in eagle, we can allow the elbows to kind of dip and sink into the chest. Or you can lift the elbows and draw them away from your body and feel that protraction in your shoulder blades. So can you feel that if you sort of push your elbows away from your body? Okay, and we're just going to breathe in this posture here. If it's more comfortable for you to allow the elbows to sink towards your body, go ahead and do that. See if my phone is hanging in. It's hanging in, so I'm going to start our time. And play a little holiday music. This one is my mother's favorite, the Cherry Tree Carol. I don't know if anyone knows that one. It's not a song that's played on the radio very much. Deep breaths, keep the breath nice and steady here. Close your eyes and go inside. Feel that opening in the back of the shoulders. You may feel it all the way into your lats and of course into your arms. And now for the remainder of the posture, begin to move your arms a little to the right and then to the left. Yeah, just some small motion left and right, noticing where you're feeling the stress of the stretch as you move. And then come back to center. Take a deep inhale, fill up the low belly. Exhale, release the arms, shake them out. Shake them out. Now lift up and maybe replant the blanket, I should say. Just move it on your calves, find a new spot for the next side. My calves, I tell you, always quite tight. Okay. And now bring our arms out at shoulder height once more. And this time sweeping the right arm under the left. And taking your bind, whatever that is for you. Your hands can be on your shoulders, the backs of your hands together, or wrapped. Okay. And again, you can take a softer version where your arms drift down towards your chest, or much more active where we're drawing the elbows up and then away from the body. And breathing all through wherever you're feeling that stress. Now for the last minute or so, not a minute, about 30 seconds, another form of movement to finish off our yin posture. Direct your hands up towards the ceiling, drawing it up, and then draw your arms down, elbows down, noticing how that changes the stretch in through your shoulders. And again, up. Breathing through it and down. And then come back to center. Release the hands, the arms, shake it out. Nice. And you can lift up off of that blanket and remove it. Notice the blood rush through your calves. And we'll come to tabletop when you're ready. Coming to tabletop, and we're doing some mobility stretch through the wrist here. Not timing this, we're just going to move and flow through it for a short period of time. So both hands are facing forward. Lift your left hand and turn your fingertips towards your knees. So we just have the left hand in, left hand fingertips come towards your knees. One hand is facing the knee, right hand is fingertips pointed forward as you normally would. And then begin to use your right hand as leverage to draw your hips back, lifting that wrist up off the floor, and then coming forward, leaning in, and pulsing a little back and forth, feeling a nice stretch up through the wrist and the lower arm here. You may notice quite a difference on the other side when we move to it. So just pulsing back and forth. And last time, shifting back, Maybe hold for a breath or two as we're lifting that wrist up. And come back to center. Release the left hand, bringing the left fingertips facing forward. And now press into the left hand, lift the right, and direct those fingertips towards your knees. Switching hands. And just notice right away if you feel much different on this side. I do, right? We're dominant on one side. So for me, this is very tight already. And then begin to pull. Slowly draw your hips back, lift up, and coming forward. Taking it easy. We're not forcing here. Really exploring. Noticing where we maybe need to give our arms, our wrists more attention. And last time. And then release the right hand back to center. Come back onto your heels for a moment. Shake out your hands, shake out your arms. Yeah. And next we are going to use our blocks and come into a yin version of camel. I know you guys love this one, don't you? I'm getting lots of cheers out there for this one. So bringing the blocks near the, about midway between your knees and ankles. We're not coming back for a deep camel here. We're just bringing opening through the hips and heart space, a softer version of camel. Okay, so first things first, let's find our alignment here. So from your high kneeling, draw your pelvic floor muscles up. Feel that engagement when you draw your pelvic floor muscles in and up. It's already engaging through the legs, strengthens and holds your core. And now, imagine your rib cage lifting up from your hip points and begin to slowly find your blocks. Once you do, your fingertips can be on the blocks, your knuckles. Then begin to draw your hip points forward as if there's a cord attached to your hip points and it's pulling your hips towards that wall in front of you. Feel that energetic draw. And then continue to open your chest to the sky, chin towards the back of your head, lifting, shining that chest forward, opening up through that front line of your body, opening up through the hip flexors, in through the abdominals, opening the chest. Continue to breathe. Another few cycles of breath here. Yeah. Doing great. You will feel more energy from this pose. You may feel your heart rate pick up. It's a very energizing pose. Camel's very energizing. So even in this more yin style, we're still feeling a lot of activity. Let's take another round of breath. Inhale, and on your exhale, lift your fingertips off the block. Come back to a soft kneel. Kneel back onto your heels. And just place one hand on your heart, one on your belly. Connect with that heart space. And feel your heart rate. Lovely. Okay, you guys will love this one after being in camel. So we're going to do supported locust using the blocks for our shoulders, the bolster for your feet, and a pillow or blanket for your head. So we're setting it up with the blanket folded or rolled for your head, bolster for your feet, and then the shoulders are going to rest on the blocks. You guys have done this one with me a few times, where we place the shoulder right on the block, okay? And you want the full head of your shoulder on the block. If it's hanging off, you're not going to be supported at all. So make sure you take the first few seconds of the pose to adjust and find that balance, support in the posture. So making your way down, and you set everything up as you think it should be, and then adjust. So you may need to shift that bolster back. You bring your arms outside the blocks, situate your shoulders down, and then flip your palms up. Okay, palms facing up. And resting your head down on the blanket. Now I'm going to start some music for this posture so you can really settle in. This is a very restorative version of locust pose, okay, which we sometimes do in flow yoga. So we're allowing our spine to be an extension here in a very supportive way. Check in and see if you're holding tension in your face or your jaw. Come back to the breath. Feel it enter through your nose. Stay with sensations in the body. Stay present. out of the posture. Take an inhale. Feel that belly compress against your mat. And exhale. And then shift the blocks out of the way and the blanket. Push the bolster away. And just come down to the mat. Lay one cheek on the mat or nose towards the mat. Just notice how the front of your body feels after that posture. I highly encourage you to take that posture longer at home sometime through the holidays. It's such a nice one and one of those poses that you could easily just absorb into for about 10 minutes. And then from here, let's roll onto our right side. Find that blanket you were using for your head. If it's not in a roll, bring it into a roll and slide it right under your waist. So we're on our right side. The blanket is rolled under our right waist. And then you can use a pillow for your head if you like or not. It's really up to you or the block. And then coming down onto that right side for a lateral stretch. I like to not use a block and lift my right arm up under my right ear, just lying my head on my arm, and then extend the left arm over, kind of coming into prayer hands and extending all through that left side of the body. However, that may not be suitable for your shoulders or just may not feel right today. And if that's the case, you can use a block or pillow. Bring the right arm out at shoulder height in front of you. And then just kind of explore with that left arm where you'd like it to be. You can drift it overhead, bring it a few inches in front of your face, even bring it behind your head. Okay, so lots of options here. And I have my legs extended long, but you can bend your knees if that feels better. All right? So really enjoying this opening on the left side. And as you breathe here, I'm going to start our time before I continue. So as you breathe here, notice the right side on the mat. Okay, so we often really focus on the breath in the front of the body, sometimes the back. So let's really bring our awareness to the breath entering and filling up on the side of our body. So notice it where your waist meets the blanket. Notice it in your right rib cage where it meets the mat. And then also notice it on the left side, that's opening up, okay? So stay with that breath awareness now. I'm gonna play some more music. And always come back to the breath when the mind is wandering about what we need to do in the next few days. Come back to the breath, this is your time. Bring your awareness to sounds around you. That also really helps to stay present. Sounds in the room. Okay, and I'm going to start some music.
low belly. Feel the breath in the sides. And then exhale. And from here, just bend your knees as if you're coming into fetal pose here now. Bring that left arm back down. And we're going to move right into a twist from this side opening. So left hand is just in front of your face, right arm extended now in front of your body at shoulder height. Knees are bent in fetal. Take an inhale and begin to open that left arm up to the sky and over behind your back to the left. So moving into a twist. And when you arrive, and yes, we still have the blanket under our waist. You can remove it. I kind of like it in the twist. It brings a little compression into the waist and low back. But what you may want to do is press into the right arm and lift and replant the shoulder blades, opening up the chest space with that movement. And we'll settle in for our twist here. With the blanket, you may notice it's also brings more intensity into the hips and through the side on the left. If it's uncomfortable, remove the blanket, but just notice that might be what you're feeling. And you can explore with bringing your knees a little bit closer to your body or further away. Take a few moments and do that and see where it feels best for you to find that sustainable discomfort. Yeah? Okay. And from here, take your next inhale, very full, draw it into your chest and then your ribs and your low belly. And exhale. And begin to lift that left arm up off the floor, circling it back to meet the right. Stay here for a second. It may feel somewhat tender coming out of the posture. And then prop your left hand in front of your face. Just push into your hand. Come up to seated for just a moment. And we're going to notice the after effects on that side before going into the next. So just come to seated. I know it's a lot to ask to come up to seated. Just feel what's going on in that left side of the body now. Compare to the right. Feel the space, maybe some tingling, warmth. And then we'll take the blanket to the other side. So just bring it to the left side of your body now and shift yourself down on the mat. Blanket near our left hip. And then begin to lower down over the blanket onto your left elbow, coming on down and finding how you want to set up on this side because it may be different. Extending your legs, bend the knees, both arms extended with your head propped on your left arm, hands in prayer, or maybe your left arm extended at shoulder height in front of your face. And that right arm, you can just kind of navigate around, see where maybe you want that to land for your right shoulder. And noticing that compression again from your left waist onto the blanket. And as we settle in on this side, bringing your mind space to your breath, feeling it in the left side on the blanket and feeling it along the right side of your body, in the ribs, in the right waist. Maybe notice if you're holding any tension in your face. Check in. Soften around the mouth, the jaw, the eyes. And beginning to move out of this side, first taking a nice deep breath, filling in the low belly. And exhale. And then begin to bend your knees, drawing them in towards your chest. Bring your left arm out at shoulder height in front of you if it's not already there. And then the left hand is just in front of your body. Inhale, lift that your right arm up and over to meet the floor behind you. So again, the blanket's still under our waist. You may want to lift that left shoulder up and replant. And that will give you more space in the chest here. And as we did on the other side, just bend those knees closer to your chest. Always exploring, right, that place that's best for you today. And that may not be your biggest, deepest twist. And in fact, in Yin, it shouldn't be your biggest, deepest twist. You want to find your first edge of resistance and meet it. And that is often a big challenge for us in Yin, right? Not pushing past that edge of resistance, that first edge. And then settle in and find your stillness. Stillness in the posture is that second principle of Yin. And then the length of time we hold it. And being okay with needing props, being okay with having a gentler version of the twist today, or of any posture that we take here in class. And finally, before I continue with the music, just bringing your attention to your heart space here as we continue to open up the chest. And in this twist, we are opening through the chest here. So in addition to feeling the breath in the low belly and moving through the body, just bringing your mind's eye to your heart. Feeling it open with your breath. Creating space. And as the song clues up here, we are beginning to shift out of the posture. Nice deep inhale into the low belly. Lots of breath. Exhale, lift that right hand off the floor, drawing that arc back to meet your left hand. A moment here in fetal, coming out of the impostures slowly and gently. And then press into your right hand, come back up to seated for a moment and just take stock of how you're feeling. Experience the sensations of your experience here. Wonderful. Our last posture before Savasana, if you want to layer, now is a good time to put on a layer. We're going to bring that bolster back to our mat and take a nice supported bridge with a variation. So bringing the bolster onto your mat and then having the block for your feet, okay? So the block is going to be the base of your mat, the bolster about mid-mat. And you're going to lift your bottom up onto the bolster and then lie back onto your bolster and allow your shoulder blades to come off the bolster and meet the mat. Okay, so this is a little bit different than what you're used to. And then your heels come on to the block. If the lower back is not feeling good, then maybe do 2 blocks for your low back, an extra block under your heels, or you can place your feet on the mat, bring your knees together, and that will decompress the low back. It's a lot softer for the low back. But give it a try, see how it feels. But the shoulder blades are not on your bolster, okay? They come off the bolster and meet the mat. And once you're there, you can lift that chest slightly and replant. Allow that chest to be really open here as we hold in this different version of bridge. And you are likely feeling some compression in the throat. That is part of the posture here. And once you fidget around, get comfortable, and really ground here. Feel that support of the bolster holding your low back, your hips, the block under your feet, your shoulders meeting the earth and the back of your head. And bring your awareness to all of those meeting points, right? Where your body is meeting the props and the floor. And allow those spots to get heavier. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes. I'm going to start our time and the music. to shift from this posture. Bend your knees one at a time. Place your feet on the mat. And then push into your feet and lift and move that bolster out of the way, settling your sacrum back down onto the floor and allowing your spine to meet the floor. Knees are still bent, just noticing here. And before we move into Savasana, we are going to take a little bit of lower back love time. So hug in your knees. Hug your knees into your chest. Take a hold of your shins. Squeeze those knees towards your chest. And then release them slightly and begin to roll slightly side to side, moving left and right, massaging out that low back. Directing your knees towards the left shoulder, over center to the right. And when you feel an area that is tender, hold. Breathe. And then maybe pulse your knees to your chest a couple of times on that spot. Bringing blood flow to the area. Self-massage for the low back. And then explore one more time, finding an area that maybe needs some love, some breath. And then coming back over center, extending your left leg long on the mat, your right leg long on the mat. Palms facing up. And once you arrive, again, maybe press into your arms, lift and replant the shoulders. And your fingertips softly curl in. As you settle into Savasana, you can maybe envision a green glow around your heart space, the color of your heart chakra. Bringing light and openness all through your heart space. And allowing your body to be really heavy and soften around your eyes, soften around your mouth. Part your teeth, allow your jaw to drop slightly, and enjoy Savasana. beginning to come back to your space, but not moving yet. Appreciating your energy at this time. Taking this brief moment to really enjoy how you're feeling after class. Energy, the space that you've created, soak it up right now. And thank yourself for making time to take in your yoga today. And then begin to make small movements, maybe opening, closing the hands, and rolling around the feet. Deeper breaths, and then maybe reaching your arms overhead, interlacing your hands, and taking a really big, juicy body stretch, pointing your toes and your hands away from each other. And on your exhale, rolling off onto your left side in fetal posture. Resting your head on your left bicep or on your hand. A couple of breaths here in fetal. And then push into your right hand and come up into a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Keeping your eyes closed if possible, or soft gaze. And noticing as you come up into seated, maybe again, a little bit of an energy shift, a little bit of a rush of blood, fluids, just noticing that change in your body and appreciating it. Bring your hands to your heart space in prayer, Anjali Mudra. Taking a deep inhale and exhale. Bring a smile to your face. Thank you for your community. And as this is my last class of this year, thank you for always being with me online and in studio. And I appreciate you so much. Wishing you a beautiful Christmas and holiday season. Namaste.